Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're tackling something pretty important. When we try to help the planet by storing carbon, how do we really know we're doing good? We're going to go way beyond just counting carbon molecules and look at how the pros give the planet a proper checkup.
Okay, so let's just jump right in with a question that sounds, well, kind of crazy, right? A project designed to help the environment could actually hurt it? The answer, surprisingly, is yes. It absolutely can, if you're not looking at the whole picture.
And this right here, this is a perfect example of how that can happen. You've got a great intention. Let's plant some trees, capture some carbon. Awesome. But what if that means you plow over a beautiful, diverse native grassland and replace it with just one type of tree? You've created a monoculture. Sure, you might be storing carbon, but you just wiped out an entire unique ecosystem to do it.
And that is exactly the kind of trap that experts warn about. It's so easy to just assume that any green project is a win. But if you don't have a serious plan, a rigorous way to protect against these side effects, you can end up doing more harm than good. So, to stop that from happening, a really comprehensive solution was put together. It's basically a blueprint for success, and it's called the Social and Biodiversity Impact Assessment, or SBIA for short. You can think of it like a detailed instruction manual for actually making a positive impact.
And get this isn't just some friendly suggestion or a set of guidelines. For projects that want to get certified under the big deal climate, community, and biodiversity standards, doing this assessment is mandatory. It's a whole process designed to prove that the benefits are real and that they go way beyond just the carbon numbers.
Okay, so the entire process kicks off with a really crucial first step. You have to establish a baseline. But it's not what you think. It's not just about taking a snapshot of the land today. It's about figuring out what would happen to that land if your project didn't even exist. So here's the key takeaway. A project's real impact isn't measured against today. It's measured against a prediction of the future. You have to forecast what that forest or that grassland would look like in, say, 20 or 30 years without you stepping in. That predicted future, that's your true baseline.
And planners have to be real about this. They have to look at 3 possible futures for that without project world. Maybe things would just keep getting worse, with more deforestation. Maybe they just kind of stay the same, stuck in a degraded state. Or, and this is an interesting one, maybe the area would have actually started getting better all on its own.
All right, so once that baseline's locked in, it's time for step 2, designing the project itself. This is all about planning things that will actively do good while making sure you protect the most valuable parts of that ecosystem.
And you can see it right here on this slide. The choices project designers have are pretty stark. On one side, you have the good stuff, planting lots of different native species on land that really needs help. On the other side, you've got the negative options, those monocultures we talked about, using a ton of chemicals, or planting on land that was already doing just fine. It's a pretty clear roadmap.
And a really huge part of this design phase is finding what the manual calls high conservation values, HCVs for short. You can think of these as the absolute crown jewels of an ecosystem. We're talking about areas with endangered species, these massive untouched forests, or entire ecosystems that are rare or threatened. These are the treasures you have to protect, no matter what. But here's where it gets tricky. Even with the best intentions, protecting one area can have, well, a dark side. The manual has a name for it, biodiversity leakage. It's a huge risk. Imagine you successfully stop logging in your project area. Great! But what if the loggers just pack up, move over to the next valley, and start cutting down that forest instead? You haven't solved anything. You've just moved the problem.
Okay, and that brings us to the final step. This is where the rubber really meets the road, monitoring. You've made all your predictions, you've designed your project, now you have to prove it's actually working. How do you show it's delivering on its promises year after year? And this right here, this quote, is such a powerful warning. In Scandinavia, there was this project that monitored reindeer and moose populations to see how the forests were doing. The animal numbers looked good, so hey, everything must be fine, right? Wrong. They were tracking the wrong thing. While they watched the reindeer, the ancient, irreplaceable, old-growth forests were vanishing, and hundreds of other species disappeared right along with them. So, to make sure a disaster like that never happens again, you need a much smarter way to monitor things. And the best practice is this framework called pressure state response. It makes sure you're tracking the entire system, not just one piece of it that might be misleading. It's actually pretty simple. First up, you track the pressure. This is the direct threat. So if illegal hunting is the problem, you monitor signs of hunting. How many traps did we find? How many gunshots were heard? Then you monitor the state. This is the actual condition of the thing you're trying to save. In this case, maybe it's the jaguar population. You'd use things like camera traps to see how many jaguars are actually out there. And finally, you monitor your response. These are your actions. Are you actually doing what you said you would? You track the number of ranger patrols you're sending out every single month. See, when you put all three together, pressure, state, and response, you finally get the full story. You can see if your actions are actually reducing the threat, and if that, in turn, is really improving the health of the ecosystem. It connects the dots. So when you pull it all together, what's the big takeaway? It's that a truly great carbon project doesn't just happen. It's the result of this deliberate scientific process of planning, designing, and then proving that you're making a difference. At the end of the day, the goal isn't just to stick carbon atoms in a vault. It's to create and protect these healthy, resilient, thriving ecosystems. And carbon storage becomes just one of the incredible benefits that a living, breathing, vibrant landscape gives us all. And that kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. When we're adding up the value of what we're doing to heal the planet, what's really worth more? A ton of carbon stored in a silent, empty forest? Or one that's stored in a forest that is buzzing and humming and is truly vibrantly alive?